This property has been in our family since 1946. This particular spot was my mother's idea because it was close to the creek. My father became very close to those giant sequoias as a young man. He used to travel through the big trees and camp at the big trees probably from about 1916. He was extremely interested in the park's mission, in the preservation, particularly the sequoias. The most important thing for us as a family is to continue a connection between the family and the park.
Let me show you guys something here. See these little seeds right here? Someday, these are going to turn into trees just like that.
Wow.
Yeah, amazing, huh?
The experience of climbing up into the crowns of these giant ancient beings is just out of this world. There's a whole another level of structure up in the canopy that you can't really get a feeling for, appreciation for, until you're up in the crown. They have these huge branches and limbs that are 5, 6, 7, 8 feet thick in some cases, and you feel so small. You feel like this tiny little thing, this ant up on this massive creature. Science can be fun. Yeah, it's awesome. In order to really understand what's going on with these trees, we need to get up into the trees themselves and measure how big they are and how many leaves they have and how the foliage is doing, get samples from the leaves. Just the foundational biology of these trees is still something that we're getting a handle on. Just knowing how they grow and how they allocate their carbon and how much water they use. Good to go. It's a big part of my consciousness as I'm climbing these is understanding and realizing that it's a living organism that's been sitting and growing in this same location for thousands of years. It's a very humbling experience. I love trying to learn about these trees and understand how they work and how they grow and how the environment affects them. But really, from a personal level, it's just an amazing opportunity to be able to climb them and experience them firsthand.
Why in the world are we going into the South Grove? From my perspective, the South Grove is a wonderful place to go because it's so isolated, and actually when you get into the forest you actually feel that you're almost in the primeval beginnings of the big trees. So come on guys, let's go. Now as we're going, you're going to start honing your drawing skills. We're going to hone our ears and our eyes and our smell. You'll be amazed when we start drawing. Actually start using our pencil to see with. People enjoy the park in different ways, but if you really want to get the silence and the isolation and the feeling of the primal forest, you want to come out here. It's just fantastic.
Yeah. Did you find some trees for us?
Yeah, hey, come and have a seat, guys.
Oh, this is great.
So that you don't get discouraged, I want you to draw lines. And by golly, you will be amazed at what you're going to know about these trees when you're finished. After you see the lines and you've focused on it and you've used it like a scalpel almost to get to know it, that it becomes yours. And that's what I like about drawing. That line has all that emotion and all that feeling that you felt when you saw it, and it was wonderful.
The beauty of this sport is that it takes you places that no one can get to. You see things from a different perspective, which is from the river to the outside. We're normally seeing from outside to the river. And it's a pretty challenging sport. It keeps you, it keeps you focused all the time. The Stanislaus River is pretty unique for myself because it was the first river that I ran when I moved to California. This is one of the rivers that you can still put in and see nothing in between the put in and the take out. It is still pretty pristine, the forest is really nice, you don't see any other civilization. From the beginning, you start with a very challenging rapid. There's not much time to warm up. It's mostly running on granite rock, so it's mostly drop and pull. So after a good rapid, there's a good section of calm water that you can regroup yourself and keep going to the rapids. So thanks to the park is when I found this whitewater awesome place in the Stanislaus River.
It's crazy.
Hey, hi! Hi!
That was so awesome.
Hi, guys.
That was crazy. I've never seen anything like that.
Hey, hi. How are you guys?
Can you take our picture?
Sure.
Biking through a park is way better than driving through it, just because you get to experience it on a much closer level.
It's amazing. I've never been surrounded by so many trees.
Being out here, you kind of are just biking around and you're speechless because it's just so incredible.
It's hard to put it into words, really. It's a really spectacular place.
This looks so nice.
Feels great. What are you doing?
What's in there?
Stick bug? Whoa.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome to Creek Critters.
How's it going?
It's going great. We're out here hunting for the critters, the insects that live in this creek. Gives us an idea how healthy it is.
So what do you guys do with all these things that you find?
Well, we're going to take them up and look at them under the microscope, and then we'll let them go so that they can finish their life here.
Those are incredible trees.
What are you guys looking at?
Just checking out these amazing trees here.
Oh my gosh. These gigantic trees have been here for so long and they're just so huge. It's just really hard to describe the feeling. Being out here kind of puts things in perspective. What is important? And that's this, it's nature. It's everything that we don't get to see all the time.
So we're going to walk down and see the stump of the discovery tree. I remember being here probably about 3 years of age, walking the trail with my mom and dad, my siblings sharing all their fun discoveries, and my little legs being tired, my mother giving me a piggyback ride so that I could make it all the way around the trail. And it was a sense of contentment, happiness. So we're going to actually get to go up on top of the stump. This was a pretty young tree when it was cut down. It was only 1,244 years old when it was cut down. I am always astounded at how they connect instantly with the outdoors.
Are those dogwood blossoms?
Those are dogwood blossoms. They're not concerned about their technology, their video games. They're engaged from the moment they step into the forest. It's such a wonderful outdoor classroom that almost any place along the trail you can stop and teach something or learn something. And the learning comes so naturally to the children when they're out here. It's almost like they're thirsty and the questions come tumbling out of them because their curiosity is awakened.
How big is the width?
That tree is 30 feet in diameter. It's the Empire State tree, the largest, most massive tree in the North Grove of Calaveras Big Trees. Hello, Ranger Steve. So nice to see you.
Good to see you too. So, see this rock that I'm standing on here with the cups and the holes in it? What do you guys think that's used for? Part of what's been my interest here is some of the cultural history, and since I have Miwok ancestry, I'm really fascinated and interested by the Miwok people who were in this area. It's good to teach the kids to recognize the history, to know the way things were in the past in California, to recognize that the Miwok people were here for thousands and thousands of years, but really, I think my message more importantly was that the Miwok people are still here, the Native people are still here and still surviving. We're just part of everyday life with everyone else.
Once they love the place and they feel it, to realize that it's theirs to protect and to save for the future generations. That our ancestors in California 100 years ago were thinking about them, thinking about their need to walk here in this park and have these memories. And as they grow into adulthood and become voters and decision makers and leaders, they will need to decide about preserving these kinds of open spaces for themselves and all the future generations down the road. And it's the first time they're looking that far forward in their short lives.